What's up, guys? I'm your host, Steven, hashtag 40acre Addicts. We're going to be talking about the College World Series elimination game last night. We had number 3 Tennessee versus number 2 Texas. And if y'all didn't watch it, it was a pretty exciting elimination game. I am so glad that we pulled out at the end and just kind of went off at the second half of that game. The last couple of innings was fire. But started out, man, the balls kept walking our guys, man, and as soon as they started fucking getting their shit cleaned up, we just the best we could say, just came alive. It just went off. And it was really a showcase of walks and runs the whole game. And if y'all didn't notice, if you weren't watching the game, Peyton Manning was actually in the stands watching, was in attendance. So for him to be all volunteered out, and for them to lose, I'm just throwing that juju out there. Archie, you come into Texas, and then you just had recruit visitation, here, and now Volunteers lose to Texas, which I know Volunteers weren't really on your list anyway, but just throwing that out there. Anyway, it would be awesome for Archie to come to ATX and put burn orange on and get stuff started for these next couple of seasons, man. Because we really need that superstar to come out and just drive for us, just win. I mean, that's what we need. Anyway, the Vols' star pitcher was actually, he's the first rounder, supposedly talent-wise, coming into their draft, the major leagues here soon. And his fastball is 99 miles an hour, but it was not his best game, honestly. I mean, they were doing pretty bad for a lot of that game. And senior Mike and Tico, that boy was on fire. I mean, did y'all see how he was doing them boys? Like he flipped the one man, I want to say on second base when he stole that base, and just slid in and just took it from him. And there was nothing, you just gotta give it to him. I mean, he did his thing. He balled it out, and they all did. It all really started from when Kennedy got it started when he hit that home runner in the bottom of the third inning, and got us up 3-2. The bottom of the second inning going into the third inning, and that really just got us on fire from that point on. It was, oh God, it was lit. I had to watch it on my iPad actually because my cable has not been transferred because y'all all know if y'all follow me, and the ones who do, thank you. But I've just been moved the last 2-3 weeks, so everything's still being transferred over. I have power, water, all that, but suddenly that is the last people you would depend on when it's transferring something over. But anyway, let's back to what I was on with Mike and Tika. If you don't know, he has 39 stolen bases this season, which is second in D1, which is +1 because the one he stole and flipped our boy last night. But that's nasty stats. He's going in the first round for me, at least a hot second rounder. But it was unbelievable. He was on fire last night. And assistant coaches getting kicked out over there at Tennessee. I didn't realize how hot-headed that staff is. And they were just driving on him, which I kind of like it. Kind of makes me think of, if you're a Texas fan, Will Muschamp kind of attitude coming to the sport, which is awesome, But by the bottom of the 6th, it was over. It was over. We just channel change if you're anybody else, channel check. But for the Omaha final 8, I thought Texas is stood out, and I think Texas has a good chance to take it all this year. I pray we do. Tomorrow we actually have Vanderbilt, Virginia is who we play tomorrow, and I'm really excited on that. Hope we win. I want to go all the way this year, win the championship. Our program needs it. CDC has already proven to give all of our athletic departments everything they need to win the championships. Other athletic programs in our athletic department have already won championships under CDC, so let's just keep it going, you know what I mean? Next thing you know, Shark's gonna follow. Speaking of Shark, let's go into my follow-up from last video earlier this morning, and that is following on Jake Smith's senior year Jake Smith, his senior year at Notre Dame prep over in Arizona. If y'all don't remember, which I know a lot of you do, but he had 23 plus 100 all-purpose yards, 1,000 plus of them were receiving, and 700 almost 750 almost from rushing, 39 total touchdowns, and he punted 25 times for 1,000 yards. I added that up earlier, and I can't do that right now, but I want to say that's averaging like at least 40 plus yards a punt. That's pretty darn good. But anyway, on defense, he was, I mean, that just shows he was an Ironman athlete. He had 20 tackles, 4.5 sacks. I mean, I like to see interception there. I believe he did an interception. I don't have that verified, but I just felt like he was. I do feel for those of you who are wondering if it's going to hurt Texas, or if it's just something Sharp can just pick up in the transfer portal and replace real easy. I do think it's going to hurt us. I feel Jake Smith, like BK said earlier today, they don't grow on trees. National Gatorade Players of the Year, they don't. And I feel like that was a huge loss. And speaking on that, he actually is already been a favor for USC. He loves that school just as much as he started to fall in love with Texas back in his recruiting in 2018. So we're just gonna have to see how that goes. And I mean, I'm pretty positive he is 100% committed on leaving Texas. I don't think there's any chance that he's gonna have that swing like, you know, a lot of our players have in the past. Anthony Cook last year, we thought he was gone and he changed his mind staying. But USC, I believe, is where he's going to go. I mean, they've already gotten at least 7 of our transfers already coming out of our school, and half of our staff from the previous few years, at least under Herman, are now over there at USC. I mean, it's just, I feel confident that's where he'll be playing in the 2021 season. And another thing is I feel like he's lost weight, maybe toned down, just like Whittington did. So I want to say he's gained an inch because he was 6 foot 200 listed when he came out of high school. Now he's 6'1", 185, which 15 pounds drop, which probably means he leaned up, honestly. But him battling injuries, I don't think that would be a problem through his career. I mean, if he can just stay healthy for 12 games, he'll showcase enough to get drafted somewhere at least in the 3rd to 6th round, if not 7th. You know, let's just pray for the brother. He can get something going for himself. Anyway, Xavier Worthy, I wanted to talk up on him too. Coming in, I feel like he's really pushing for that starting job already. You know, even though he hasn't even touched the field yet. I feel, well, what I've been hearing is that he's already like basically like Troy O'Meara was last year in late fall camp, and just outdoing all these older receivers. And with his speed, he's listed at a 4.4 basically, and his 100-yard meter in high school was 10.6. So I mean, it's elite speed. It's fast, and that's something we just don't really have a lot of on the Texas roster. We need a lot more speed. I feel it's just a little dry on the speed. And oh man, Keith Lee, please prayers up to that brother. I hope his charge gets dismissed and dropped. I hope that he didn't do nothing too serious. I hope they don't rip his scholarship. I know he's already suspended from campus. I don't know if that necessarily means they rip your scholarship right away, or if it's like a Jay Moore situation where maybe you can talk your way back into it and try to get back into the picture. That would be awesome. I would love to see him, you know, not have to ruin his life over a simple domestic violence. I know it's not simple, but it's family, and family can forgive. And it should, something that involves family shouldn't cost you your entire life, I believe. Especially when you have a chance like he does to really do something with yourself. And it's the fact that it's an aggravated assault charge, supposedly. That's a serious charge. It's not nothing to mess with. And he could end up doing serious probation for something like that. Like I pray my brother doesn't have to deal with nothing like that. But leading into the receivers that we have on our roster, I mean, we're looking at Troy O'Meara, Jordy Whittington, Xavier Worthy, Jay Moore, Cavante Dixon. You could add Kyle Money. I like Kyle Money. I think he balled out the spring game. He showed up when he can last season. But we don't have no proven talent on our wide receiver roster. It's all just what they did in high school and what they do in practice. And, we don't have any of that proven stuff other than Jay Moore, really. And Jay Moore had the 9 touchdowns last season, which is great. But his 9 touchdowns came more along not as necessarily just being a straight baller, but more of being there when needed, in the timing that we needed someone the most to step up and change the game or put the game in a point to where we weren't having to sweat like we do almost every game of Tom Herman's career. He was there, and that's a big thing to lean on coming into the 2021 season. I feel like Jay Moore will be a big hopeful for us to at least have a little bit of experience on the field for the rest of the receiver corps. I feel honestly, Xavier Worthy, Jay Witt, Troy O'Meara, those are my 3 starting guys, and then you're rotating everybody else. But we don't see it until Saturday, September. We'll be there. Let me see if there's anything else I want to cover on here. Oh, speaking of that, I was actually watching the spring game for USC because I watched it back when it was live, but I had to rewatch it. So I was just curious because Jake Smith going over to USC and the fact that we have so much Texas over there right now, just in general. I want to go look and see what they were actually all about, because you never know. What if we end up beating them in a bowl game if we don't make the playoffs? It's a high hopes for us to go 11-1, 10-2, or 12-0 this season. I would love for it, but you got to take them burn orange glasses off, and we have to look through a realistic perspective and not just think with our hearts all the time and think with our minds. But having said that, Keontae Ingram, I feel, did ball out. I want to say he had a little fumble, which to me is still like his few fumbles at Texas, they were just the 2 that were at a critical time, and then the 1 drop pass really ruined his career here. And I feel anywhere else it wouldn't have. Anywhere else it would have been just, rushed off the shoulder. This is Texas. It puts way too much pressure on these athletes, especially at their ages. And I feel he's going to thrive this year. I want everyone to watch Keontae Ingram over at USC, and Jake Smith too, along with everyone else that we got over there. We got the 100-yard landlord there too on defense. Even though I saw, I can't remember who it was, somebody juked him pretty bad in the end zone during one of their practices. But last thing I want to touch on was the Governor Abbott dropping the NIL bill, name, image, and likeliness being paid to players across the state of Texas. This is going to be awesome. A&M in Texas, I feel they're going to thrive the most on it. TCU is going to be right there fighting for that next spot, if not pushing to be in the run with the other 2 top dogs. Tech will be a little behind. Baylor will be way behind. But as for that, I think the state of Texas our football programs are fixing to go to a whole nother level, and we are going to see much better recruiting in the state of Texas. People are going to start talking about Texas like it is the football state of America. I mean, it was for such a long time. In these last 10 years, it just hasn't felt that way. And I would love for this bill being passed and us getting a head start against all the other states and colleges on this bill to get us a good jump start to build our recruiting so high and taught to be so good that everyone else is going to be playing catch up by the time their bills get passed. But anyway, tomorrow's game, Texas versus Virginia. Tune in. Let's get to that national championship. You already know, 2021, Texas Longhorns, baby. I'm your host, Steven, coming at you live. #40acre addicts. Yeah!